So a heartbreaking story of addiction and a taut thriller from Denmark premiere on area screens this weekend.
And here to give us the scoop on both films is film critic Chuck Kaplinski. Hey, Chuck, welcome back first.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Sounds like this first one is a tear jerker.
It's not as jerky as I would have wanted.
Really?
I really wanted it to be really go for the jugular. I should have been weeping buckets at the end of this thing, and I was not. That's not to say that Beautiful Boy isn't worth seeing. It still is worth seeing. It just doesn't really portray the drug abuse that this character, Nick Sheff, is going through in a way that I thought was particularly grabbing. And there we see his dad, played by Steve Carell, a guy by the name of David Sheff. This is a true story based on David's memoir, Beautiful Boy, and then his son's memoir named Tweak. Son is played by Timothy Chalamet. You could probably expect both these guys to be nominated for Oscars come spring. The addiction of this young man starts when he graduates from high school and just gets worse as he experiments and gets caught up in the cycle of addiction with methamphetamines. This is the crucial scene in the film at this diner that they used to go to when he was a younger child, and Dad is trying to reel him back in, trying to appeal to him to come home and get help. This is a parent's worst nightmare. If you have kids, this movie you'll be able to relate to in many ways, especially if you're older and your kids have gotten older, because you see this guy's frustration. He tries to help his son in every way he can. He tries to communicate in every way he can. He does research to try and find out how he can break this thing, and he gets nowhere. The frustration is palpable, and you can really, really feel it. Seeing as how this is based on these two's memoirs, it's kind of disappointing that the two women in the film, the mother and stepmother, are kind of pushed to the side, and we don't get their perspective. I would have liked that a little bit more. And as I say, while they show the effects of the addiction and what it does to the kid and the family, they don't really show how harrowing his shooting up and his actual drug abuse is. And I think if they had done that, it would have been a more solid, moving portrayal of what's going on. Again, I am recommending this film. I will say, though, that it's good, not great, which is what I wanted.
Did I say that this was based on a true story, or no? It's not?
Yes, no, it's based on a true story. The boy wrote a memoir, and the father wrote a memoir.
Oh, okay.
Father was a journalist. He wrote for Rolling Stone, Playboy magazine. So this was right in his wheelhouse to as far as examining this addiction problem and how it affects the country.
And we're so used to seeing Steve Carell in funny comedian, roles. Is he relatable in this one?
Completely relatable, serious? And you better get out of that mindset, because he has 2 more movies coming out before the end of the year. Neither one of them comedic in any way, shape, or form.
Really?
Yes, no, he's very, very good. And as I say, I think both of these guys will be nominated.
And just hearing you talk about it, with father of 2 boys, makes me sort of
get ready,
get a little tense inside. Yep. So it sounds like it's a powerful
Well, if
movie.
your boys are young, this may help prepare you for later on.
Yeah, 9 and 11. So
there you go.
Yeah. Okay, coming to the art, The Guilty.
The Guilty. I knew nothing about this movie as of last week, and boy, am I glad I saw it. This is a fun movie. It's a neat little trick of a film. It takes place in one setting, a police call center. And there we see our guy. His name is Eben, and this guy, you could tell, has problems. We learn as the film goes on that he is a police officer who's being investigated for an incident that happened while he was on the beat, and he has been assigned instead to take calls at the call center. And this guy has a short temper. He really doesn't play well with others, and a call comes his way that he feels as though he has to handle himself. He gets a call from a woman who claims to be kidnapped by her husband, and she wants to get back to her kids. And the entire movie takes place in that one setting, and all we see is him taking phone calls. Taking phone calls from her, taking phone calls from the kids, taking phone calls from other police officers who are trying to help. So it's all on that actor. Let me tell you, he knocks it out of the park, because the whole film is based on his reactions to everything that he's hearing. The tension really ratchets up. This movie's only 85 minutes, which is perfect, because it becomes a race against the clock before they can try and figure out where this woman is and how they save her. And then there's a twist.
Oh.
Is this sort of like the Tom Hanks and the volleyball Deserted Island movie, but set in a different place?
No, this is more like the Tom Hardy movie named Locke from 5 years ago, in which it was the same thing, only he was in a car driving somewhere, and it was all phone calls as well. This could very well be a play, as contained as it is. But a really neat movie. You'll be on the edge of your seat by the end of this one, up at the Art Theater for a week.
Does it have subtitles, or was that just our footage?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're going to have to read.
Oh.
Sorry there.
Reading at movies is awful.
Reading, mate. My head hurt. Reading.
No math,
Yeah.
no reading.
Sorry.
That's the rule.
Chuck knows me so well. Something cool, though. You're getting ready to, you and Pam, on your way to New York City.
Yes, Pam and I will be in New York on Sunday. Netflix is fitting the bill. They're going to fly us out to see a film called Roma, directed by Alfonso Cuarón. He is the two-time Oscar winner for Gravity and The Revenant. They are flying us out to meet this gentleman and see the movie, and we're pretty anxious.
I bet you are.
bet.
Do you know anything about it? Does it look like a good film?
It is based on his life in Mexico. It's shot in black and white. As I say, it's a Netflix film. It will be premiering on Netflix, I believe, the first week of December.
Nice.
So you can look for it then, and Pam and I obviously will review it before it comes on.
Okay.
Perfect.
We'll look forward to that and
Thanks,
hearing
Chuck.
about your interview with
Yep.
the director
Yeah.
in there. Hey, if you want to keep up with everything Pam and Chuck, check out Real Talk with Chuck and Pam on Facebook. Give them a like. They're always doing fun reviews and contests and other things. And
Going to New York on Netflix's dime,
I
things like
know.
that.
And last week, to jump on our Thanksgiving contest, jump on it.
Oh, see, there you go.
There you go.
All right, coming up, Ryan takes us on a high flight.